A game that means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. The Big Ten championship game at Lucas Oil Field in Indy. Also Saturday night, 8 Eastern kick. Number 2, Indiana. Number 1, Ohio State. How in the world can either one of you explain to me how this number is only 4.5? I know Indiana has been good this year, okay? But the gulf between Ohio State and everybody else is astronomical, including Indiana. I don't understand how this thing isn't at least 6.5, because Ohio State, even though this game means absolutely nothing for them, is going to go in there and take care of Indiana. I don't think it'd be a rout, but would any of us be the least bit surprised for this to be like a 34-24 kind of game? They're going to win by double digits. They are. And I don't understand how in the world this thing has only moved from 4? It's still 4 in some spots, from 4 to 4.5 this week. Like, I don't get it. All due respect to Kurt Signetti and the Hoosiers and Mendoza and all that. I think there'll be a tough out in the playoff, depending on who they play. I'm not saying Indiana is bad. I want to be clear about that. Indiana is a very, very good football team this year. They're undefeated for a reason. But this is Ohio State, man. Like, this is not a 4.5 point game, John.
Well, first of all, you say all due respect. It doesn't sound like it's respect at all. It sounds like it's nothing but disrespect.
Well, no, when
from
you say all
them.
due respect, you can say whatever the hell you want and get away with it.
That's
why
right,
I say
That's right. Yeah. No offense, but this guy absolutely sucks, and he's never won anything in his entire life. But no, I mean, I understand, and I think it's the same logic here that I use in the SEC championship. Like, same total. I think both these teams I could see Indiana possibly carrying more, right? Like, because this is our opportunity to knock off an Ohio State where, they don't, again, it's like, I'm trying to get into the psychology here. How seriously does Ryan Day take this? How seriously do the Ohio State, Buckeyes take this? I don't know. So I think that's part of it. Is like, you're trying to figure out who's more motivated in this game to win. I guess I would say Indiana would be. And that's probably why you're seeing it not get out to 6.5, 7.
Man, Ohio State's 8-1 against the Big Ten against the spread this year. The only spread loss is Purdue. Go back to last year, same thing, right? If you were to just bet blindly Ohio State against the spread against Big Ten teams, you're covering every game except for like Michigan, right? The last few years they did cover against Michigan a couple times, and then that Oregon game from last year out west. Other than that, man, if you just blindly bet Ohio State against the spread against the Big Ten, you're going to win all the time. So I am with you. I don't understand why it's so low. I think you have to get this thing outside of a touchdown if you're going to even come close to taking Indiana. I'm all over Ohio State here.
Yeah, and again, it's a game that means absolutely nothing. If Ohio State loses, they fall to 2, and Indiana moves to 1. If Indiana loses, I mean, maybe they fall, depending on what happens, they'll fall to 3. Georgia would move up. Maybe they fall to 4, depending on how Texas Tech beats BYU. If it's 54-0, they'll move up. But like, I don't see the reality where there is a possibility. There's a universe, certainly, where Indiana beats an unmotivated, like you said, John, Ohio State team. But I just, because, again, it means nothing. Maybe Day takes his wide receivers out at the first sign of any kind of tweak for those guys, and he doesn't want to take any chances. But
wasn't there some speculation that Oregon would do that last year? I feel like we kind of had that talk.
Yeah, there was a question about whether they were going to play those guys against Penn State, and they did, and they took care of it. So
and that's why James Franklin's at Virginia Tech.